Hello everyone, welcome to the first of 2 videos for June for Caitlin and I's video series, Summer Season Scrapping. I'm going to be working with the prompt front porch today. I have 2 photos there, one that was taken right after I had bought all the supplies to get my front porch planted, and then it turned into a 7-day project because I decided I needed new cushions and I decided to pull out some of the extra porch furniture that I had in my garage and clean that. And yeah, it turned into a lot more than I had initially thought. But I was very, very conscious about taking photos. So I have a before picture and an after picture, and I'm going to scrapbook those today. I was recently reminded that I still have so much of this 49th and Market Spectrum Sorbet collection. And yes, I also have most of the Spectrum Gardenia. So we're going to use the Spectrum Sorbet today. And I'm also going to do the last square sketch from Allison. So if you bought that square sketch bundle and have been working along with me, this is going to be, my layout today is going to be based on sketch number 10. Of all of the sketches, sketch number 10 is the most ambitious, and it's going to require me to punch a ton of squares. So I'm going to go off camera. I'm going to start punching. As I was punching, I was laying the squares out so that I knew exactly that I was punching enough squares. I did not want to over punch these squares. So if you are curious, this does not mean that our Sketches by Allison series is over. I have also purchased the hexagons, the triangles, and the circles. So the next Sketches by Allison video, which actually is going to come up this week on Thursday, I think. Thursday? Maybe Friday. Is using and beginning to use the hexagon bundle. So I will link the square bundle, but I'm also going to link the hexagon bundle in the description box below. And that way, if you want to play along with the hexagon bundle, you can grab it. It's a digital set of sketches. You'll get them instantaneously. And then on Friday, when my video goes live, I will be working with sketch number 1 using the hexagons. I am currently using my T-square ruler to make sure that the first line of these squares is centered and straight. Once I have the first line centered and straight, I will be good to kind of just follow and get all of these squares into place. But I wanted to be absolutely sure that I had the squares exactly where they needed to be, because this particular sketch calls for a pretty nice border around the edges. I wanted to make sure I didn't go into that border with the squares. Like, I wanted that border to be nice and crisp and clean. So everything had to line up and match pretty good. Okay, I'm going to go ahead. I am going to get all of these squares stuck down. And this, folks, is where it's going to get crazy ambitious. So I am going to hand stitch on this layout. I said when I started using these sketches that I would at least hand stitch on one of them. Well, this is sketch number 10, so my opportunities to hand stitch have totally passed me by. And it is now time to do the said stitching. So I'm going to poke some holes and I'm going to stitch exactly the way the sketch tells you to stitch, using some white thread. And about a week later, we're done. No, not really a week, but it felt like a week. I felt like I was stitching that page for eternity. So now we can go ahead and put this whole layout together. So I do not know how long it took me to punch all those squares and stitch them down and everything else, but this part of the layout took me less than 40 minutes, so that's pretty good. I went through my papers, and I want to add a pop of contrasting color. So I want my photos to stand out against all of the color on the background. And the way I'm going to do that is with this really deep, dark teal paper. I am going to trim and matte both of these photos with the teal paper, and then I'm going to put the before photo right on my background, but my after photo, I'm going to use my Big Mama foam tape to give the second photo a little bit of a lift. This is the after photo, the good one, right? That's the better photo. That's the one that needed the foam tape. So I'm going to start this filling in some of these squares with embellishments. And initially, I'm going to do it by size. So I'm not going to worry about what color or anything is. I'm just going to look at how the elements fit inside the squares and choose my embellishments that way. Let's just take a minute here and acknowledge the fact that I bought too much of this collection. I am aware that I bought too much of this collection, and I really think that part of the reason I have used so little of it is because I have so much of it that it overwhelms me. Like, I am just not that person. I do much better when I really, really pick and choose what elements and what things I purchase. Whereas with this collection, I was like, I love it all. And yeah, I know, looking back at it now, going back and working with it now, and still feeling overwhelmed by all the products I have, I totally understand why I didn't use a whole lot of it. And I also totally understand why it's still in my stash. Not because I don't love it, but because pulling it out and working with it is still an overwhelming endeavor. But you know what? Those are the kinds of things you have to learn. I know since I have purchased this collection, I have since realized how important it is for me to have a smaller amount of product when I love a collection. Like, even if I love it, I still need to make a bit of a wiser choice in what products I purchase. But that's okay. So I'm going to go through here. I do decide to use these tickets, and those are actually going to hold my title, which is before and after. You also saw me kind of put down some rub-ons, and I was also kind of like, I should put die cuts here too. So you're going to see me put die cuts down. So the idea, and this stays, so that's why I'm making sure to add this in here. So the tickets that are at the bottom are going to say or before. The tickets at the top are going to say after. And then I'm going to use my date stamp to stamp the two tabs that come out of the photos. And that's basically going to be all the kind of information for this layout, which that's the only one that you need. That's really the only information you need. The before, the after, the date I started, the date I decided I was done. So I went ahead and I filled this grid with all the colors of the rainbow. And I got to about here, and I'm putting on the foam tape on this butterfly. And I'm looking at my layout, and I'm going, you know what? I do not like this. Then I just moved one of the butterflies so he was color on color, and I went, yes. So I'm pretty much, the only thing I couldn't take up were the rub-ons. So some of the rub-ons are not color on color, but I am just going to start over now. I finished putting the foam tape on the butterfly, and I decided I'd pop him up with the orange because there aren't any, I didn't use any of the yellow papers when I cut the squares. In hindsight, maybe that wasn't a good idea. I don't know. I'm not sure what made me kind of make those color decisions, but I didn't use any of the yellow paper. So now I'm going to do color on color. So I'm going to just take each of those squares that I already had something on, but instead of having the contrasting, I'm going to put some elements that are the same color as the square on top. And if you were trying to tell me that the entire time, and hoping that that was what I would do the whole time I was putting everything down. Yeah, you were correct. I mean, it really was the right thing to do. Like I said, when I have too much of a good thing, it really overwhelms me. So now I'm going to take each of those squares, pull what's on them off of them, except for the die cuts, or not the die cuts. And by die cuts, I mean rub-ons, except for the rub-ons. And I'm going to just change it all up so that every square has like a more tone-on-tone look. I mean, I like color just like the Latinx person, but wow, that was a lot of chaos right there, and it needed to be toned down. I went through my little bin of stuff that I keep on my desk. That is the use this up or toss it bin. That's what I call it. I change it out every month. And in that use it up bin were these letter stickers. And I was like, you know what? Let's grab those and use them. I had enough ease in 2 different colors to do before and after. So I took the tickets, stapled them together, and then I'm just going to add my title before and after onto that part of the ticket, and that kind of gives my title a nice landing spot. And you can already see how much calmer my layout is becoming. I also completely got rid of the die cut butterflies. That just the style wasn't working. They weren't kind of meshing with the rest of it. And that's okay. I have them for another day. So other than those tickets and the tabs and things under, I just used the laser cut elements and the rub-ons. That's what I ended up using primarily. And I'm just putting on my before right now. And I decided that having the black letters would be just fine. I didn't have I just changed the color of the letters, and it works because there are other pops of black throughout this layout, and I'm going to stamp my 2 dates with black as well. Now, I did pop up that yellow butterfly with my foam tape. I have my photo popped up with foam tape. I need to add another thing popped up with foam tape, I think, and I'm going to end up kind of pulling up that orange butterfly and popping him up with some Big Mama foam tape. And I will leave the link to Spiegel Mom Scraps in the comments below. That is where I buy my foam tape, and you can always use my code Sarah Scraps, all capital letters, all one word, and that will save you, I think it's 10% off of your order. And that would include anything, including sequins and different things. So I'm just going to go ahead, add some Big Mama foam tape, pop that butterfly on, because he's on a white square. The white squares I kept just kind of like free and put, whatever color I wanted down. You see how much calmer it looks? It looks so much calmer now, right? I do really love how this layout turned out. It did take me a little longer than a lot of my layouts, but it was totally worth it. I think it's bright and fun and summery and perfect with these photos. Be sure to head over to Caitlin's channel and check out her layout for today. I am sure it is going to be absolutely beautiful. Today was such a good day for a summer layout because it's pouring rain here and I needed the sunshine. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Bye.